Good day. Good day. This is a mini podcast series labeled AYPN ReActivated, where we are diving deeper into our past speaking series and kind of pausing, reflecting, reacting, giving gratitude over the moments and gems that were dropped over the past few years. And just being in awe of how far and how much we have changed as a community and how deep we have connected as family. So today, right now, I'm here with my business partner, my best friend, Isabel Black, Izzy, the intentional healer. Well, each week we will be coming at you with a new video. We're starting with our video from 2023, AYPN Gratitude more than just once a year. This was a video where this was my first time emceeing this video personally, but also after rewatching this video was full with so much inspiration, so much gems. This video reconnected me back to the original mission of why we even started AYPN. And at the same time, planting seeds of where this can go in the future. So now being fully removed, a few years removed from this content, it allows me to see it with clearer eyes because evolution doesn't stop. You continue to learn, continue to grow, continue to shed, evolve. And then when you look back at older versions of yourself, you can really see the contrast and really gain a greater sense of gratitude, which then deepens your practice of being grateful. By understanding where you are, where you came from, and also where you're going. Understanding the power that's inside of you, refining that, and placing yourself in the right position at the right time, knowing that life is working for you. That's embodiment of a gratitude mindset. So today we're going to dive deeper into 2023 AYPN. This is when we were at Unity Southeast. Is this 2022?
It's 2022.
Oh, excuse me. You can talk.
I'm about to go in.
You gotta just say no. Look, hop on in. This ain't a soliloquy. This is. Go ahead.
So it's me, Izzy, and it's what an honor and what a blessing to be here, to be able to reflect off of that first full year that we made a conscious decision to step forward and to be so vulnerable with ourselves, our story, and put ourselves out there, not only to a community, but a community we didn't even know. It was a foreign community. But they've become, our best friends. They've become people who have helped support us in this growth. And as an effect, they have also grown within themselves. But yes, this is 2022 that we're starting with on this podcast, AYPN ReActivated. And the beautiful part about this event is when we said yes in 2021 to host a 12-month series in 2022, we had no idea what that was going to look like. So what I think what it's important, I think, for the people to know was this was our 12th month in a row speaking and sharing and holding space. But it was the second to last of the 12-month series, January to December. So that means month after month after month, we kept having to, or choosing to, and that's the beautiful part, to show up. It wasn't always easy. So my brain's going back to, we were close to the end.
Right, exactly. Look.
We were like wiping the sweat off our forehead.
Yeah.
We were proud of ourselves that we just did these 10 months or 11 months before that, because we started December 2021. So it was like we couldn't believe we did it. And then it was like this excitement, what next? Right? But we're taking you all back to November 2022. And when this title came to us, gratitude, more than just once a year, it was very personal. Because what we were growing through and coming into in our own lives was, how can we be grateful through it all, regardless? But we were still existing around the people who literally only choose to be grateful around the time of year that we're supposed to be grateful. And that's the Thanksgiving month. You know, all of a sudden everybody's becoming thankful. They're wanting to extend out. They're wanting to donate. They're wanting to give their time. They're maybe inviting people into their world that you didn't invite them over for your birthday. They weren't worthy for your birthday. But today it's about, or Thanksgiving, right? It's about giving thanks and putting all those things aside. So for me, at least, it was extremely personal, because that was something extremely big. I had to break through that mindset of just being grateful when I'm supposed to be, or when things are going my way. So before we dive in, I just want to say thank you, James, for the past 4 years, for being that best friend right back, mirroring me to me, back to me, and for always sharing space and allowing me to grow or to fall short. And it's been an honor to do the same for you and for all of the activators that have come through.
Yeah.
So with this podcast, we're going to be listening to some of the session, and we can't get through it all, you know, we're not but we do want to invite any activator who shared at one of the events, if they want to reflect and have it recorded, to just reach out to us, and we'd be happy to go through a session and talk about life after activation, or see what their story of AYPN ReActivated is as well. So as James said, this was his first time emceeing, and he was the courageous one to step up and do it first.
Wait, so you didn't MC before this?
I don't believe so. I think I emceed after you. We'll have to double check that, but I'm very sure I didn't, because I was too scared and I didn't know. I didn't know how I was even going to do that.
Listen, look, you know, I'm going to say this because for a long time, I did not listen to any of the recordings after our events. And I remember Izzy always saying, yeah, I'm listening to it on the way home. I'm like, it just finished. She's like, I'm already listening to it. I'm like, listen, because for me, the past is the past. At least when it comes to, and that was a trigger point for me, I realized, but there was never really any real pressure for me to go back and face that, because in my mind, I'll just refine, because I know I'm getting better every single day. I'll show up even more refined the next time I speak on stage. That was my mindset. There was no need for me to go in the past and listen to what I already said, because it was already said. But also at the same time, I realized I was doing myself a disservice, because that was coming from a place of avoidance and not real truth. So from a wounded place of not being hypercritical over how I perceive myself and how I, listen, just, how being insecure over your voice, over how you are, presenting yourself and things of that nature, all performative, right? Observations. and not really getting deep into the message behind it and seeing like, oh, just because you're not polished or perfect in your mind doesn't make what you're doing less impactful.
Right, absolutely.
So is that was the emotional maturity of me going through that process over the years and coming back full circle, and now going through this video and listening to it for the first time since it was recorded. It sparked so much creative inspiration and ideas in me that now we're redesigning our framework for AYPN going forward in 2026, because the answers have already been there within our content over the years. It's a matter of us now filtering through eyes that are more evolved, more mature, more settled and grounded in who we are. So yeah, this has been a beautiful process. Thank you, Izzy, for bringing this to the table and opening yourself up to receive this gift, and then acting on it. And now we're here with simple equipment. We're literally in a library using a free room, using our iPhones with lapel microphones. Right. And we have the iPad playing the actual video and content of our message of our event in 2022. So this is a clear example of just using what we have to get to where we need to be or where we want to be. Right. It's not need. We want to be there. Right. So, and I'm loving watching this unfold in real time. I'm loving how this is kind of just building off momentum of what we already been doing. So it seems like it's just more aligned, and we're able to move through this more effortlessly and easily because we have that chemistry already built. So let's dive into it. AYPN ReActivated. This is our first episode, our first session. So we have AYPN Gratitude more than just once a year. This is where I emceed. We have a number of speakers, from Reverend Randy, from Brenda Ringwood, or Becoming a Better You, Grace Strong, the Gratitude Whisperer, a bunch of different powerhouses, and they share their message on what gratitude means to them. And every year, November is a month of gratitude. So for every year we grow and we come back differently and more evolved. So we always have a different perspective and take on what gratitude means to us in a deeper way. So this is an opportunity for us to dive deeper into that. So I just wanted to start it off by playing the original 7 minutes or a few minutes. I know I started off so this is kind of behind the scenes, right? So when I'm kind of in my mind, not in my mind in a bad way, but like, okay, how can I start off this series? And one of those things I want to just freestyle just a little bit of spoken word. So in the beginning, when I'm talking, that's what you see. You see me in my mind, just like freestyling a bit of spoken word before I get into actual talking about the event. So we can go ahead and start off with that and come back to it, freestyle, and then the spoken word and the freestyle, and then go into the event. I think our first speaker is what was it? Yes, Grace, the Gratitude Whisperer. Okay, so let's take a seat, get comfy. I'm about to play the clip right now, and we'll check back in.
Good evening. Good evening. Welcome, Unity Southeast. It is the 11th monthly edition of Activate Your Power Now. Gratitude.
Good job, James. Good job.
So before we start, I just want everybody to take a conscious breath in through the nose and out together. So breathe and out. Gratitude. What does that mean to you? Gratitude. Step by step, becoming the best you. Who are you when it's time to step up and shine? Who are you when it's time to rise to the high vibe? Can you be grateful when things seem to be not so bright? Can you be grateful when the sun is not shining? You see, in gratitude, we believe that in order to have more gratitude, to be grateful, we have to do more. Right? And there's a side to that. There's a side to that because it activates your power to being of that. It's activating the power within. The power of unconditional love, the power of grace, the power of gratitude. Fanning the flame and stoking it, allowing that energy to overcome and wash away. To really embody gratitude. The practice itself is not a thing of doing, it's a state of being. Mm-hmm. That's why it's more than just once a year. It's a lifestyle. Mm-hmm. So how can we embody gratitude in its essence? How can we step into that realm?
And I think that's a great place to pause because you're asking.
I don't know who that is, but that boy's spitting.
Oh, man. I don't know. I heard he's pretty good at what he does. But no, you did wonderful, for stepping into emceeing and all that entails. Now I'm very comfortable, but definitely wasn't that first year. But you just asked them a question.
Yeah.
What was that question?
Right. Who are you?
There was who are you, but just right before we paused. What? Mm-hmm. We can get that out.
Let's bring it back.
How do you go back just a couple seconds? Sometimes there's that little.
You see, there's one side to it where it's the positive state of being. That's why it's more than just once a year. It's a lifestyle. So how can we embody gratitude in its essence? How can we step into that realm?
Gratitude.
How can we embody gratitude in its essence? How can we step into that realm?
So what?
How have you embodied gratitude? Can you say this in a way that's can be wrapped up in a few words, Izzy? Or a few sentences?
Yeah. Only giving me a few words. You know who you're talking to.
That's how I expand your freedom right there.
How can we embody gratitude? I'm going to go back to what intentional living is all about. And that's literally how you opened us up. It's one breath and one step at a time, right? Because it's easy to say, I'm going to be grateful regardless. Mm-hmm. But life happens. Mm-hmm. And it's about how do you embody it? How do you make it a part of you, a part of who you are organically, right? And I would say the only way to do that is one, pause and breathe and be consistent. Continue to pause and breathe. Continue to allow. Because what that pause and that breath does for me is it allows all those emotions that come up for me when I don't want to be grateful. Mm-hmm. And it, with each deep breath in and with each deep breath out, it just slowly kind of starts settling into its place and giving my body ease to trust. where it's not, that pit in your stomach, that knot in your neck, that feeling like something's sitting on your chest and it's hard to take that deep breath.
Right, exactly.
But, I had to slow myself down enough to be able to smell the roses, to know that there's always something beautiful existing in my world, even when my emotions are screaming that it's not, that it's not okay. Things are not okay.
I love that. Love that you have learned a practice how to regulate yourself. Because now that puts you in the mindset where you're not moving from survival. You're moving from appreciation.
Exactly.
Appreciating how far you have come in your life, and also knowing there's so much more for you to step into. So that puts you at the sweet spot where now you can receive what life has in store for you, while being able to stay connected as you move forward.
Exactly, and God gets to use me for the bigger missions, right? Because I've always been used by God. We were all created. We've all been existing in our purpose through our whole life. It's just when we don't have that awareness and that understanding, it just feels like chaos. And I got to a point where I realized what I was expecting, demanding, or wanting for the people I love most. I wasn't being a good demonstrator of what it was I was requesting of them. And as soon as I had that awareness, I knew I had to do something about it, right? And I talk about it all the time. Intentional living can only become a consistent thing in your life when you're willing to wash everything through gratitude.
Right. I love that, Izzy. So as we're moving forward through the video, moving past the introduction, we're going to go into the first speaker, which is Grace Strong, and she opens up at a mark where she's explaining what gratitude means to her. Let's check that out.
How I thought I'd start tonight is I'm actually going to give you the definition of gratitude and the 3 different types of gratitude. I'm going to read them. Gratitude is one of many positive emotions. It's about focusing on what's good in our lives and being grateful for the things we have. Gratitude is pausing to notice and appreciate the things that we often take for granted, like having a place to live, food, clean water, friends, family, and even computer access. What are 3 types of gratitude? Some psychologists further categorize 3 types of gratitude. The first one is gratitude as an effective trait, one's overall tendency to have a grateful disposition. Number 2 is a mood, daily fluctuations in overall gratitude. And the third one is an emotion, a more temporary feeling of gratitude that one may feel when receiving a gift or something from a friend. So I consider myself a gratitude whisperer. Why do I consider myself a gratitude whisperer? Because I literally practice gratitude every day. When I say I do that, I truly do all 3. Now, I have to be honest with you. I had a very hard time grasping the emotion side of gratitude. For a very long time, I showered everybody I knew with greetings, gratitude cards, kindness, appreciation. That was my life. So I had the first 2 types of gratitude down pat. But guess what? I had a very hard time with mindset to accept the third. And that was, I could not receive gratitude. I wasn't good at it. I was afraid that I would react poorly. Somebody gave me a gift, they might see I didn't like it. Somebody gave me a compliment, I usually laughed it off and got shy and shied away.
Wow.
That's powerful.
That is powerful. Thank you, Grace, for gratitude whisper. Look at you. Look, I mean,
I got goosebumps. Just because for multiple things. One, what she said, but not only am I hearing what she is saying, I've known Grace for years. And I see that what she's speaking is true. And even from then, 2022 to now, she's even morphed into even deeper in that belief and in that practice that she just shared with us. But the different levels, those different, I'm not sure, I don't remember what exactly she called it, but the list of the different ways gratitude can appear in our life.
Exactly.
That's genius.
Yeah. Yep. I love, and her main thing that she mentioned was like our ability to receive gratitude.
Right.
It's easy to give, be grateful, but can you receive blessings that other people can say, oh man, they should be grateful for that? Can you actually be grateful and receive that as well? Like you said, compliments, people just expressing their affection for you or what you got going on in your life or what you're wearing. Can you like, or do like, I know for a long time, I didn't feel comfortable receiving that. It's either I had to like say something back,
right,
and say something nice back to you to kind of get the tension off myself, or I'll just downplay it and saying, "Oh, it's nothing too big."
Exactly.
What are you talking about? This is all right. This is just normal. And that whole time just kind of reflected and mirrored back to me, just like how I perceived myself and how I didn't feel worthy enough to actually receive what was actually for me, and how my worth was based and centered and founded in what I gave, and not what and not what I am able to receive in life. So, and I'm saying that from a position of contrast of stepping into the other polar, the other pole, excuse me, of receiving life, receiving support, and not feeling guilty about it, and not feeling like I have to justify it to somebody or somebody else. No, just being okay, accepting that I am worthy just as I am. And because I am aligned with that, knowing and understanding, life responds and mirrors back to me that same knowing. And now I'm able to receive with ease just as much as I'm able to give.
Right. Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. And I've definitely have done a lot of work in that area as well of receiving compliments, like you said, without downplaying it. And I have to say that life feels a lot better with have grown in that area to be able to receive. And I really like what she said at the beginning of her speech, and that was she used the word focus. And we have, when we get to that event, we have a whole event centered around focus. But it really, for all the people who don't know where to begin on how to live a life of gratitude, I would say that's where it needs to start. What you're focusing on, right? So to anybody listening who doesn't know where to start writing down the things you are grateful for. Because when your emotions take over and you can't think of anything to be grateful for, that's a starting point. You bring your list out and you focus on that list and you remind yourself the truth of why that list exists. And the more you do that, the more that it starts becoming muscle memory, natural, and then you can grow into the next level, as she said, of being in a state of gratitude.
And I love that you mentioned the list, because I had an event, one of my first events for this new idea that came to me. And we had this event a few weeks ago. And in this event, a man came in that wasn't even registered for the event. He came in looking for another group. He came in with another individual from out of town. She was looking for our group. She brought him inside. He realized he wasn't in the right place. He said, "Excuse me, I have to go find my people. I like the energy in this place. So after, I might come back." He comes back after finishing his meeting, sits down. We're going through our own activity of rediscovering our self-love for ourselves during this event. And he's talking about the power of gratitude. See, the group that he was looking for was NA. So when he came back into our space, in our circle, he was mentioning how the simple act of starting a gratitude list was the step that pulled him out of addiction.
Wow.
That was one of the first steps that pulled him out of addiction. And he ended that never doubting the power of gratitude.
Right. Wow.
And how that simple declaration and act saved him from, this is what he said, a hellish state of living.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That in itself brought goosebumps to myself, and I can assume many other people in that circle. Because we touched the truth in that moment. Mm-hmm. We all connected and understood the simplicity of just appreciation.
Right. Right.
So yeah, so going forward, thank you, Grace, for bringing that to our awareness. Next, we're going to just fast forward this video a bit into another powerhouse, Andrea Luzon Coates, and she is the legacy liberator, mm-hmm. Love legacy liberator. Yeah. And she mentions and she talks about gratitude as well. Let's see what she has to say.
While you're pulling that up, just so everybody knows, all of these videos that we'll be referencing are on our YouTube, Activate Your Power Now. You can go check out the whole video, or you can go to your favorite speaker and listen to their speech, but they're on Activate Your Power Now YouTube.
The group that brought you here tonight, Activate Your Power Now. I may be the newest member as of today in this group, but what I know, or what I think I know about this group, is that it's about at least 3 things. It's about building community, it's about rediscovering your unique truth, and it's about shedding harmful generational patterns. And those 3 things, they require practice. It takes showing up. It takes you being curious, leaning into curiosity. It takes you doing some inner work and really being vulnerable. Nothing great happens in our lives without a little bit of this. Ask any great hero if they were being vulnerable, and if they really reflect on themselves, there was some risk involved. They were really being vulnerable. So gratitude can be part of you ending your suffering. It can be part of you feeling more alive. You bring in more of what you want. So I'm going to stretch all of us and emphasize that we get to be grateful for the catalyst in our lives. What's a catalyst? Something that creates change. Does everyone remember chemistry class, the beaker with the solutions in it, and then you put in one drop of one more element, and all of a sudden there's like an explosion, or there's bubbles, or something really fun happens because you added one more ingredient. You added one more thing. So we get to experience gratitude for the catalyst in our life that creates change. But how do you use the gratitude tool when something's upsetting you? Because it's so easy to be in gratitude when the catalyst feels good. Maybe it's a new job, maybe it's a new honey, maybe it's the introduction to that person and you get a new client. Something amazing and remarkable can happen, and then it's easy to say, oh, I'm so grateful for that. But how do we step into gratitude for the disturbance, the upset, the unmet expectation, or the pain that we're feeling? How does that work? It's difficult to truly be in gratitude if you're not feeling your feelings first. Our society isn't so great at teaching next generation. This is how you process feelings. This is how you can heal yourself instead of just slapping band-aids on things or sweeping things under rugs. And then interestingly, that explosion happens eventually because you're not processing things. A woman in my empowerment circle, she coined this term. She called them the don't feelings. So we get to allow ourselves to process anger, sadness, jealousy, disappointment, unmet expectation, and maybe even pain. And you can process through writing, painting, body movement, drive out to a field and throw some rocks and scream. Get a therapist. Do some of that deep trauma work. That will really support you in up-leveling your life. The triggers in your life are also the teachers that get to support you in magnetizing at a higher frequency.
The triggers in our lives are also the teachers. And I have found that to be 100% true.
Yeah, look, I said that when I was emceeing. So you already know. Look, you said your triggers are your teachers. Mm-hmm. And she said, like, being able to lean into the catalyst and using that in a way that's productive.
Exactly.
Intentional, conducive towards greater growth in your life. And I know that's a easier said than done phenomenon, especially when you're in the moment and you're trying to use the tools to regulate yourself emotionally while still having to manage your life and maybe the life of your family, life of a business, and different communities around you. So it's just like juggling all these different responsibilities and roles, and now you expect me to also have a level of inner control over myself as well.
Right. I would love to share, before AYPN and before meeting you, James, that I had a saying that I learned, I heard somewhere, and I heard somewhere, and I used it. And not only did I use it, it was in 2020 when we had a lot of my family members living with us, it was almost mandated in the household to be willing to go by this motto, because we were still practicing, especially me, going through the feelings like she talked about. How do you stay in gratitude when you're feeling all these different things? And the saying was, if it's not building, it's destroying. Point blank, period. There was no middle. And I had to do that extreme before I can then grow into a place where then I can exist back in the gray area that I love existing in so much. Because I don't believe, I believe that the truth truly exists where two extremes overlap, and that's the gray area. But before I could get there maturely, I had to literally ask if something was coming out of my mouth, especially because I was feeling a certain way. After I would say it, I would have to ask myself, did this help build something? Or did I just help destroy something? Because one or the other is happening when we speak. And that was a way for me to practice continuously being there in that moment and having a bigger understanding of what I was actually doing and contributing to. So, yeah, I just wanted to share that, because for some people, when you're in those moments and you're just practicing that gratitude and you're in front of somebody who is triggering you, then you have an opportunity before you speak to ask if what you're about to say is helping to build, not build nothing within them necessarily, but build on who you say you are, and what your contributions to this world is.
Right. I know they say feel the feeling, but choose the response.
Behavior. Yes.
Exactly. Choose the behavior, choose the response.
Yes.
But that's a practice in itself.
Right.
Because our responses, our reactions are normally extremely ingrained, deeply ingrained into who we are, tied to our identity, into our upbringing and belonging. So to even enter these states, it does require a level of understanding of where you want to be, the person you want to become.
Right.
And then from there, reverse engineering that back and saying, okay, what actions do I need to take right now in order to walk that path of becoming that individual? So that may require some pattern disruptions,
right?
Slowing down, pausing, gaining greater awareness of your past actions and asking yourself, does this still align with who I am in response to who I want to become? And then from there, now you can begin to walk the path of gaining tools and putting yourself in positions where you can become better. You can regulate yourself emotionally and choose behaviors, even if it does happen after the fact. Bringing awareness to the fact that, okay, yeah, this happened and I acted this way and I could have done this better. That's progress.
Right.
That's progress.
For sure. Well, thank you, Andrea. We're going on to the next speaker that we're featuring today, which are we going to meet? Oh, Reverend Randy.
Reverend Randy is next. So he's going to talk about just a few things about how to really tap into the spirit and power of gratitude. And, he's always charismatic with his delivery. Let's tap in with Reverend Randy.
interviews today, sometimes I don't feel like they're moving me forward. And I remember when I opted to be the reporter of this town, an adult took me to the side and said, in order to be a reporter, you have to know the who, the what, the where, the why, and the how. Those are the 5 things as a reporter is your responsibility. What is the who, what is the what is the where, what is the why, and what is the how. And I think of gratitude, I think that those 5 things are really crucial. You see, because we're always wondering, what should we be grateful for? So let's just start with who should we be grateful for? Say everyone. Everyone. Who should we be grateful for? Everyone. So there's the who, the what. So what should we be grateful for? You're going to follow up everything. So who? Everyone. What? When. So when should we be grateful? Every time. Not just all the time, but every time. So who should we be grateful for? Everyone. When should we be grateful? Every time. See, I'm going to mess you guys up. Now, where should we be grateful? Everywhere. Where should we be grateful? And how should we be grateful? How should we be grateful? In every way. So, everyone, everywhere, every time, every way. That's when we should be grateful. You see, sometimes we forget that. And so I want to talk to you, and everybody's been talking today a little bit about gratitude and how it works and where it works, but I wanted to just kind of boil it down to the basics. And here's the thing. 4 steps. Give thanks. Say give thanks. Give thanks. Rediscover your purpose. Rediscover your purpose. Activate your power. Activate your power. Evolve. Let's try that again. Give thanks. Give thanks. Rediscover your purpose. Rediscover your purpose. Activate your power. Activate your power. Evolve. Everything that's happening in your life is there, so one, you can give thanks for it. And this is complicated because there's so many people that I know in my life that are thinking about situations, thinking about people, and they say, there's no way I can give thanks for those things. But I'm here to tell you, you don't have to give thanks for the thing, but you have to give thanks for the wisdom, the testimony, the learning that came from it. And so here's the thing, in every moment, you're given an opportunity, regardless of what's going on in the outside world, to give thanks for what is going on and how you are processing it on the inside.
Yeah.
You see, there are these little dolls that, when I was growing up, I thought was the coolest thing in the world. They're called Matrushka dolls, or Russian dolls, or stacking dolls, or someone called babushka dolls. And when I was little, I don't know how they did it, because I've never been able to find another one, but my father found one in an airport that were 60 dolls inside each other. So you can imagine the outside doll was probably 12 inches in diameter, but the inside doll was so small that you could fit it on the tip of your finger. And for me, I didn't realize how valuable those dolls would be in my mindset and in the way I live my life. You see, we always hear the word about you need to get centered, you need to go within. And those dolls remind me very clearly of the fact that my life is a Matrushka life, or a babushka life, or a stacking life. See, everything that's happened to me in my life is stacked on top of everything else. In order to get centered, in order to get to the heart of the matter, in order to truly go within, we have to go inside each level of those dolls to get to the center. So when I talk to you about getting centered, I think when we give thanks, see, I used to say discover your purpose, but I think that's so wrong. I've changed my mind about that. And that's the beautiful thing about this life and this world. We have an opportunity and a responsibility when we're given new information to change the way we think. And so now I say rediscover your purpose rather than discover your purpose. Because here's the thing. My purpose in this moment right here can be very clear, but then all of a sudden I am confronted with new information and I am now being called to rediscover my new purpose. You see, we all think that there's one purpose. I have one purpose in life and it's this. If you're telling yourself that, you're lying. Because in every moment you are given an opportunity to give thanks and then rediscover your purpose. Last night I was at home.
Rediscover your purpose, which is what
Activate
we're doing
your
today.
power. Evolve. Because we're in the chrysalis and we're breaking out of cocoon. We're growing our wings. We're evolving. And so are you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I love that gratitude. The who, what, where, and how. Mm-hmm. I got a little mingled while he was saying it. I was trying to keep notes fast enough, but everything, everywhere, every time, everybody. And I love how he broke that down. And he's so right about, that each layer, we've talked about that throughout the 4 years, the many layers of existence. And nobody's immune from that. The only, if you're listening and you think, well, that's not me, I would challenge you because I feel like it's all of us. It's just some of us are aware of it and some of us are not, and that's okay. But we all have layers, and that's the goal, right? I mean, none of us are still crawling on the ground, gagaing and googling. Right. 20, at 30, at 40, It's layers.
Right. I love how he was going deep and just talking about like rediscovering your purpose and saying that we all have multiple purposes based off different areas of our life and what we're trying to do. But at the same time, there is a a higher purpose that unifies all our smaller purposes.
Absolutely.
So I love how he was able to break that down, give thanks for every opportunity, even if the outcome wasn't what we wanted. The lesson gave us something to help us grow.
Right.
It became the soil, the fertilizer, in which we were able to, like, our flowers were able to bloom, and we were able to mature at the right time.
Right.
And then activating our power. What does that truly mean?
And then the responsibility of once you're activated and once you stand tall and firm in your belief and in your truth and you declare it, the responsibility of, like he said, when you gain new information, reassess.
And look,
redeclare.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that was it. It's a responsibility.
I get a little excited. I'm
sorry. I know you do. I like it. Let's go.
I was saying, like, because when I'm, listening to this and going back through it, I'm like, oh man, our framework is within the content, and we have created, or at least facilitated over the last 4 years of organizing events as AYPN. So we are evolving, like we said in the beginning, into the next chapter of our existence as an organization and a business that is centered around changing and creating social impact that allows people to really connect with themselves in a deeper way, and also communicate that in a way that enables community, authentic connection, authentic healing. And with these videos that we have recorded, we know that everything we need is exactly where it needs to be.
Right.
So as we go back and peel back the layers and decipher and sit through the talks, know that we are integrating our past into our present, setting us up for an exponential growth in our future. So I wanted to say that for everybody sitting down, it's okay to give yourself the opportunity to pause, reflect, integrate your past, to be removed from the pain, and now you can see the lesson. And from that, now you can really allow that wisdom to seep out of it. And that's what you carry forward into the future, is the wisdom of your experience, leaving behind the emotional charge. So this is wrapping up our part 1, episode 1 of AYPN ReActivated. We touched a few speakers. We touched our own hearts, and hopefully we brought you back into the mix
and
as community.
I have to say, I've been reactivated through these couple clips and just talking about it, So AYPN ReActivated, as we enter this month of gratitude in 2025, and we close up our 2025 series with, what is it called this year?
Activate Your Power.
No, what's our
series
coming up? Activate Your Voice.
Activate Your Voice.
We're closing out our speaker series with Activate Your Voice. And it's just such a great reminder this time of year to tap into that grateful part of you. That grateful part of you that's always been there, is dying to take lead in your life, but you just keep suppressing it because all the programming in life has told you that those are not things to be grateful for. So what a beautiful way to reconnect with gratitude. And again, you can go to our YouTube, you can watch the whole video, you can watch the full clips of the speakers. And there was even a couple speakers we didn't cover in this session.
Right.
So go
So
watch
the full video. Look,
It's
right
good
now,
stuff.
I want you to pull out your phones. If you made it to the end, I mean, you are here and you are invested. So if you're still here with us at this moment, I want you to pull out your phone. I want you to type in Activate Your Power Now on all social media. Specifically, start with YouTube and branch out. We got Facebook, we got TikTok, we got LinkedIn, we got everything. We got it all. So we're stepping into that, and we want you to grow with us.
Yes.
And to follow us and connect with us. So connect and watch the video, and let's see what comes up for you. And comment in whatever comment boxes we post this on. And let us know what, this let us know how you're being reactivated as we're being reactivated.
And, right now is a good time to start being grateful more than just once a year. Mm-hmm. So we'd love to hear from you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being reactivated. And as James said, comment and reach out to us. Let us know what you think about not only Activate Your Power Now, but about this AYPN ReActivated podcast.
Peace, peace. We'll see you soon. Take it easy.
Bye.
Good day. Good day. This is AYPN Activate Your Power Now. And we're coming back at you because we are in a crisis. Actually, it's more like a chrysalis. We are in the cocoon. We're transforming, evolving, reflecting in the space in limbo between who we are right now, who we were in the past, and who we're becoming in the future. And we need your help. We need our community to be reignited with the original flame that ignited us into this path that we have been walking for the past 4 years, going on in December. So we're coming at you now with a new offering, a new space to gather, not in person, but online. We are becoming reactivated in a sense. An idea came to us as we're bridging the gap between our past and our future, to really sit down, slow down, pause and breathe, and just be grateful for how far we have come as an organization, how far we have come as speakers, seeing the growth within that craft itself, and seeing how individuals who have blessed our stage, to see how they have grown over the years and how they have tapped into their voice, their truth, and how they communicated that, expressed that in their life, expanding, elevating their life, expanding their freedoms. And we're grateful to be here now, which is why we want to clearly communicate what we're doing now and why we're here. This is a mini podcast series labeled AYPN ReActivated, where we are diving deeper into our past speaking series and kind of pausing, reflecting, reacting, giving gratitude over the moments and gems that were dropped over the past few years, and just being in awe of how far and how much we have changed as a community, and how deep we have connected as family. So today, right now, I'm here with my business partner, my best friend, Isabel Black, Izzy, the intentional healer. And we're just here to kind of break down a few videos. Well, each week we will be coming at you with a new video. We're starting with our video from 2023, AYPN gratitude more than just once a year. This was a video where this was my first time emceeing this video personally. But also after rewatching this video was full of so much inspiration, so much gems. This video reconnected me back to the original mission of why we even started AYPN. And at the same time, planting seeds of where this can go in the future. So now being fully removed, a few years removed from this content, it allows me to see it with clearer eyes because evolution doesn't stop. You continue to learn, continue to grow, continue to shed, evolve. And then when you look back at older versions of yourself, you can really see the contrast and really gain a greater sense of gratitude, which then deepens your practice of being grateful. By understanding where you are, where you came from, and also where you're going. Understanding the power that's inside of you, refining that, and placing yourself in the right position at the right time, knowing that life is working for you. That's embodiment of a gratitude mindset. So today we're going to dive deeper into 2023 AYPN. This is when we were at Unity Southeast. Is this 2022?
It's 2022.
Oh, excuse me. You can talk.
I'm about to go in.
You gotta say no. Look, hop on in. This ain't a soliloquy. This is. Go ahead.
So it's me, Izzy, and it's what an honor and what a blessing to be here, to be able to reflect off of that first full year that we made a conscious decision to step forward.